Vlad, I really need your help, Zlata pleaded, casting an imploring gaze at the guy. It's my friend's birthday on Saturday. Can you take over my shift for me? I haven't seen her in ages. In fact, I haven't seen any of my friends in years, she explained. Okay, Vlad agreed, contemplating the request. But you'll have to work tomorrow's shift for me. Zlata almost groaned at the thought. Friday nights were always lucrative in terms of tips, but also physically demanding. People flocked to the restaurant to unwind and escape the troubles of the past week. By midnight, the place would often resemble a bustling diner rather than a refined establishment. Fine, Zlata relented. I'll work tomorrow. Just then, a voice called out behind her, "Excuse me, miss." Turning around, she found an attractive man standing beside her. "Yes," she replied. "Can I help you with something?" "Zlata," he glanced at her name tag. "I inadvertently overheard your conversation. I understand you'll be working tomorrow." "Yes," she confirmed. "That's correct." "I have a tremendous favor to ask of you," the man said, presenting her with a velvet box. "Inside this box is a ring. Tomorrow, my fiancée and I will be dining here. I plan to propose to her. However, I might be running a bit late. Would you be so kind as to seat her at a nice table, preferably by the window? And when you bring us the menu, place this ring box in front of her." Zlata lowered her head, contemplating the request. It wasn't the most romantic approach, but she decided against offering advice. If this was how the customer wanted to present the ring, who was she to interfere? Of course, she nodded. "I'll make sure it happens." The man expressed his gratitude by handing her a generous bill. "This is for your efforts," he said. "Thank you." Zlata beamed, feeling appreciative of the gesture. As soon as the man disappeared from sight, Vlad muttered, "Strange guy." "Let me see the ring," he demanded. Typically, grooms arrive hours in advance, trembling with fear of misplacing the ring. But this one, maybe it's a lousy ring? Curiosity piqued. Zlata opened the box and involuntarily let out a groan. Zlata couldn't help her curiosity and decided to take a peek inside the box. As she lifted the lid, her eyes widened and she involuntarily gasped. "No," she exclaimed. "This ring is far from being trashy. Just look at it, it must be worth a fortune." Vlad nodded in agreement. "Yes, you're right," he admitted. But the way he chose to present it, along with the menu, it lacks originality. "Vlad," Zlata reproached him with a glance. "He's a thoughtful guy, trying to be romantic for his girlfriend. We don't know their story, or if they have a special tradition." "You see romance in everything," Vlad dismissed Zlata's viewpoint. "Let's focus on our work. Just don't forget to hand over the ring to the chef for safekeeping. If anything happens to it, we'll be paying for it for the rest of our lives." On Friday, around 7 o'clock, Zlata started to observe the guests more attentively. The bride-to-be would be arriving any minute now. Zlata had already informed the hostess to seat the girl at a table by the window. As the clock struck 8, she spotted the girl she was looking for. Zlata quickly informed her colleagues that she would be serving that particular table today. Taking the menu in hand, she approached the customer. Engrossed in a phone conversation, the girl paid no attention to Zlata's presence. Zlata discreetly placed the menu on the table, intending to leave, but she couldn't help overhearing snippets of the conversation. "It feels like today is going to be a special day," the girl spoke into the phone. "Maxim has been acting so solemn. I think he wants to propose to me. Yes, I do love Vova Katiusha, but I need to think about myself too. Vova still hasn't figured things out. He keeps trying one thing after another. But with Max, everything is clear. He provides financial stability. Vova knows about him, and he doesn't mind. Besides, sometimes he manages to scrape up money for his next genius idea." Zlata was taken aback by the revelation she had overheard. She didn't want to hear any more of the girl's conversation and watched as she hastily made her way out of the dining area. Feeling a mix of concern and uncertainty, Zlata retreated to the back room and leaned against the wall, deep in thought. What should she do now? Should she follow the client's instructions and present the ring as planned? Or should she confront him, warning him about his fiancée's possible infidelity? What if he was already aware of the situation? Zlata didn't want to risk making a fool of herself or potentially jeopardize their engagement. On the other hand, what if he was completely unaware? Would he want to know the truth? Zlata anxiously bit her lip, torn between her duty and her conscience. The rational choice would have been to stay out of it and simply do as she was asked. But something inside her rebelled against that course of action. She couldn't shake off the feeling that she had stumbled upon a situation that required her intervention. Zlata remained in a state of indecision, trying to distract herself by tending to tasks behind the counter. She meticulously wiped down forks and glasses, purposefully avoiding glancing in the direction of the fateful table. She knew the client's fiancé would soon arrive, eagerly anticipating his proposal. But suddenly, she felt a presence behind her. Turning around, she was met with an enraged man. "What's wrong with you?" he seethed with anger. "I asked you to carry out one simple task. Just take out the ring. I made it so easy for you. No need to worry about timing or hiding the ring. Just take it out, and yet you couldn't even do that." "Please, wait, listen," Zlata implored, her voice filled with desperation. "I know it's not my place to interfere, but I couldn't help overhearing her phone conversation. Your fiancé is involved with another man. His name is Vladimir, and she loves him." The man froze, his features contorting with shock. "Are you sure?" he asked, his voice trembling with a mixture of disbelief and pain. "Absolutely," Zlata affirmed with unwavering conviction. "If I had any doubts about what I heard, I wouldn't have spoken a word to you." The man nodded in silence and departed from the scene. Zlata watched him with a tinge of pity as he approached his fiancée, uttering something abruptly before turning on his heel and leaving. It was a stunning turn of events. He didn't engage in a conversation or seek further clarification. He simply walked away. But, shaking her head, Zlata reminded herself that it was no longer her place to meddle in their affairs. She had fulfilled her duty by sharing the truth and returning the ring to its rightful owner. It was time for her to let go of this story and refocus on her work. As the weekend arrived, Zlata spent it as she had planned, enjoying the company of her friends. However, the incident continued to linger in her mind. She couldn't help but wonder how the man, she recalled his name was Maxim, had resolved the situation. Why hadn't he even listened to his fiancé's side of the story? On Monday morning, Zlata returned to work at the restaurant, ready to resume her duties. The next day, Zlata's colleague approached her with news. "Someone was looking for you yesterday," she informed Zlata. "A man?" Zlata raised an eyebrow in surprise. "Was he a regular customer?" "No, I haven't seen him here before," the colleague replied, shaking her head. Zlata's mind immediately jumped to Maxim. Could it be him? But she quickly scolded herself, dismissing the thought. Why would he be looking for her? As the day progressed and lunchtime arrived, Zlata became fully engrossed in her work, managing to push both Maxim and the entire situation out of her mind. "Zlata, your name was mentioned," a voice suddenly called out to her. Zlata turned to see Maxim standing by table 6. "Hello, can I help you?" She greeted him, trying to maintain a professional demeanor. "Yes," he replied. "What time do you finish today? I'd like to have a conversation with you." Zlata hesitated, feeling a mixture of curiosity and caution. "Maxim, I don't think it's appropriate," she voiced her reservations. "It will be strictly a business talk," Maxim assured her, "not about what happened on Friday." Giving it some thought, Zlata finally nodded. "All right, I finish at 8 o'clock today." "I'll wait for you outside the restaurant," Maxim said, his presence confirming his sincerity. True to his word, Maxim was waiting for Zlata when she finished her shift. "I guess you're tired. Let me give you a ride home and we can talk," he'd offered. Zlata hesitated for a moment, assessing the situation, before cautiously agreeing. She got into Maxim's car, her apprehension mixing with curiosity. I won't beat around the bush. I need a companion for an event tomorrow. Just a companion, I should clarify, since I no longer have a girlfriend and it's widely known that I'll be attending with someone, Maxim explained. Zlata listened attentively, wondering why he had chosen her over someone he knew. Mum, why me? Can't you ask someone you know? She asked, voicing her curiosity. Zlata, on Friday, you displayed qualities of decency and courage. I appreciate those qualities, Maxim responded. Besides, an acquaintance might inadvertently leak information. Tomorrow's event is crucial to me, as important figures will be present, and I am keen on establishing cooperation with them. I am willing to pay generously for your assistance. Zlata considered his words, contemplating the potential risks. And if I mess everything up? She asked. You won't, Maxim reassured her. I have faith in your abilities. You just need to be beautiful, polite, and show a hint of affection towards me. I'll do my best, Zlata replied, a mixture of uncertainty and determination in her voice. I've already found out that you don't work tomorrow. You can spend the day at a beauty salon, and I'll cover all the expenses. Although, I must say, you're already very beautiful. Dresses, accessories, everything will be taken care of. I'll give you the address of the store, and their consultants will assist you in choosing an outfit suitable for the occasion. I'll pick you up at 7. Oh, by the way, my name is Maxim, he concluded. Zlata nodded, absorbing all the details. All right, I'll see you tomorrow, Maxim. I already know, I heard your girlfriend call you that, Zlata remarked, referring to the name Maxim used. Ex-girlfriend, he corrected with a hint of sadness. The following day, Zlata embraced Maxim's offer wholeheartedly. She spent several hours at the beauty salon, indulging in various treatments. Afterwards, she carefully selected a stunning dress and returned home to prepare for the evening. As she opened the door, greeted by Maxim's presence, his eyes widened in astonishment. I knew you were beautiful, but you're absolutely gorgeous, he complimented her, unable to hide his admiration. Zlata beamed, adjusting her hair with a touch of confidence. Maxim, don't you think it's odd to address your girlfriend as you? Maxim smiled in response and extended his hand towards her. Well, my beautiful companion, shall we go? Absolutely, Zlata replied, sliding her hand into his with a spark in her eyes. The evening unfolded magnificently. Zlata savored an array of exquisite delicacies she had only glimpsed before. She enjoyed the company of Maxim, who, despite occasional conversations with important individuals, never neglected her. They danced, engaged in lighthearted conversations, and shared laughter throughout the night. And as the party drew to a close, Maxim accompanied Zlata back to her apartment. It was a night filled with joy and enchantment, leaving both of them with cherished memories. You did a remarkable job, Maxim praised her. Thank you so much. Half of my success today definitely belongs to you. He handed her a puffy envelope filled with money. Zlata gently pushed his hand away and shook her head. You've already done more than enough for me. I've had an incredible day and I don't need the money. Instead, I have 2 requests. Curious, Maxim asked, what are they? First, a question, Zlata began. Why did you leave your fiancé so abruptly at the restaurant? You didn't inquire or seek an explanation. You simply walked away. Maxim sighed, his expression tinged with a mix of sadness and resolution. I had my suspicions that she was cheating on me. About a week prior, I had planned a romantic evening and offered to have an honest conversation with her. I openly shared my doubts and pleaded for her honesty. I asked her to confess if she had someone else. She swore there was no one. That was the end of it for me. I closed the chapter. Understanding his perspective, Zlata nodded. Okay. Maxim leaned in, his eyes filled with anticipation. And what about the request? Zlata gathered her courage and blurted out, "Go on a date with me." Maxim's face lit up with an exuberant smile. "1,000 times yes," he exclaimed. And so, their story continued, filled with newfound hope and the promise of a budding romance.